In the last video, I spoke about me working on the 2021 draft class for the PS5 while waiting for next gen. But during that time, I've also been working on the blueprint for the High School Hoops 2K21 roster as well. And what makes this roster difficult that a lot of people don't realize is the lack of information out there for these players. A lot of these kids are like in 10th grade, 11th grade. They don't have stats, they don't have photos all over the internet like an NBA or college player does. Creating a college roster, you have all the stats out there, either on Basketball Reference, Synergy, or even on the NCAA website. They have stats there as well. But when it comes to high school, you're out there just looking and searching, Googling all over the place, hoping and praying that these head coaches post the stats online for these websites like Max Preps. I'm going to give you an example of how a high school basketball team looks in Max Preps. So I'm going to check out the Hamilton Chargers. This is where Patrick Baldwin plays at. He's projected top 5 probably in the 2022 draft. So I'll go to Patrick Baldwin. I have the whole team roster here. Obviously, there's no photos. That's one thing you got to notice. There's literally no photos of none of these players. So Patrick Baldwin, I can just Google his name, obviously, because he's ranked number 3 in the world right now, ESPN. So I could just Google his name and find a photo. But his teammates, if they're not a high recruit, the only way to find a photo of them is probably Instagram. I will have to go to Patrick Baldwin's account and hopefully one of these kids are tagged in a photo. But yeah, let me click Patrick Baldwin's name. Literally no stats here to use. So that's how it usually is for most teams on this website. So that's what makes it so difficult creating these high school rosters. I know a lot of you kids who watch my videos think I could just snap my finger and just create a full high school roster like it's easy, but I'm going to show you why it's so difficult to create something like this. Now here's another example of another team, Lake Norman Christian. This is where Mikey Williams transferred to. Look at their roster. They only have 4 people here. So from this point, I will have to Google other websites and hopefully something will pop up. I eventually found their roster and their starting 5, but it's not as easy as ESPN or finding a college roster. I have to go through like 80 different websites to find that. So Mikey Williams is rare. Last year, his high school team, they posted his stats online, even though it's kind of incomplete. You see this shows he made 98 threes, but they don't show his attempts or his percentage. They show his free throw rate. So a lot of the stats and stuff when it comes to high school is just super incomplete and it's just impossible to find online. So it's more of an eye test. So regardless of the loops that I've been going through to try to find information on these high school teams and high school players, I've created a database of 25 teams that I found information on. I went through crazy amount of work to find this out. Created like a little table here, similar to the draft class video that I previously made, of all the teams that I've created so far. Well, obviously the game didn't come out and create everyone yet, but just the blueprint of each player that will be in the high school roster. I have 25 teams. I doubt I'm going to make any more because the created player is the same as last year based off the videos that are online, and I'm not going to create more than that. So 25 teams, starting 5s on each team. Some teams will have more, like Mount Verde will have more. So if I click into a team, let me show you an example. Go to Sierra Canyon. I got their roster right here. This is their main core right here. I'm not going to really do the bench players because it makes no sense to do a bench player. There's no videos on a bench player. They barely play anyway. Usually it's the core that plays the majority of the game. Nobody's trying to play with a freshman kid who nobody knows. All these teams will just have their starting 5 or their core 6 or 7 depending on the team. So that's Sierra Canyon. I'm not going to show you all of them, but I'll give you another one. You got Mount Verde down here, IMG. Click that. Not giving no release date on this. I don't even know when I'm going to start creating this, but I do have a blueprint ready and set. Probably going to start working on this after I finish the draft class. I don't know when I'm going to finish that, so it will come out eventually. Don't know when. Anyway, if you mess with the video, if you support me, just leave a like on the video, subscribe if you're not. Nobody's doing this type of stuff, and that's a fact.
Yeah. This vision talk, this is not a cult, this type of